It has been a real honor and privilege to be on the receiving end of the ministry of Fellowship Adventures. I think the first time I ever met Michael John, we were sitting in a restaurant and we were talking about ministry, and I think even then Fellowship Adventures was first introduced to me. He started talking about just the joy of taking pastors and leaders out into the woods, experiencing God's creation, being refreshed and refueled. And right then he was planting that seed in my mind. And sure enough, within the first year of him being on staff, we took a couple of our leaders and we went up to South Dakota on a hunting trip. And I'll just say, I grew up in rural Texas. I'd hunted a few times, but not anything like I experienced on that trip. The hunt was amazing, watching the dogs work, watching the thrill of the hunt and the harvest of the field. But on top of that, the hospitality, the food, the embrace, the love, the friendships that we made were friends that we have and will have for years and years to come. So I'll never forget the last run of the day when we were in South Dakota. Jeff said, guys, soak it all up, take it all in, listen to the wind through the trees, watch the dogs work. This is our last run. I can still feel the moment right now. We're walking through the grass up chest high, watching the birds flush, and it was something I'll never, ever, ever forget. To see a ministry like Fellowship Adventures that nurtures and encourages pastors, this is something that's so unique and so incredibly needed. This ministry really has a multiplying impact on the lives of people. I can remember going back to my church and thinking, what if I could get some of the men in our church to experience the same thing that I'd experienced through Fellowship Adventures? And so that's what we did. We've found men in our church that were high impact leaders and committed volunteers. And we said, hey guys, why don't you come away with us? And we took them to South Dakota. And it was so great to see them sit at the table that I'd sat at and to enjoy the meals that we'd enjoyed and to go into the fields that we had walked and to sit around the campfire that we had sat around and to see them open up and share their heart and their lives and their hurts and their disappointments. And these men walked away with a bond, with a renewed hope. In fact, every one of those men are now taking a step into being discipled, a step into leadership that they would not have had in any other way. That's the impact of Fellowship Adventures. And let me just say, I know that I've been a recipient of this blessing that others have given so that I could have this privilege. And I am so thankful for those that had the foresight and the generosity to give. Proverbs 11:25 says, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. And I really believe that those who give to this ministry will be refreshed when they know the difference that they made. Maybe it won't be till we get to heaven, till we see the incredible impact that Fellowship Adventures has had and the part that they've had to play in it. Most people wouldn't think that God could use a ranch in Nebraska or fields in South Dakota to make much of a difference. But he used it in my life. He used that in our church, and I'm so thankful for what God is doing in the ministry of Fellowship Adventures.